Hey, J-Bro's popping in here. I'm going to drop this video out and I'm going to talk about Chinese products and the truth behind tariffs as far as I can see it, viewing the auction and general just purchasing stuff from auction, from China, and this whole panic attack at one point. People are like, oh, Jeremy, what are you going to do because you're buying stuff from auction or you're buying stuff from Temu? Oh, those prices are just going to go through the roof with those products from China, all this, that, and the other thing. Well, it's much more than tariffs with products from China. China is great at, let's say, getting out products to, let's say you and I, everyday home people, hobbyists. They're excellent at putting a skid or a mini skid in everybody's home. Americans, we're not good at that. We love to have the biggest, brightest, best. We want to have a $30,000, $40,000 mini skid. They don't want to produce small budget items like this. And like I said, what the Chinese do well is they mass produce. And honestly, they overproduce. And that's their biggest problem. And that's why the prices of their items over, let's just say now 9 months, 10 months, 11 months since tariffs have been implemented, their prices have not only not increased anywhere, now their prices on these pieces of equipment have come down because they've flooded the market over here in the US. And some people would say, oh, okay, well, their prices were going to go up, going back to that. Here's my philosophy. Well, if they raise the price too high on these, guess what? I can't afford it and I don't want to afford it. So I'm just not going to buy it. Now with rich people, they just don't care. They're going to buy and they're just going to do stuff no matter what, because they got money and it doesn't matter. So they're going to buy the latest and greatest and stuff like that. Much like with the attachments. When I first started buying attachments on the auction, let's just say a 4-in-1 bucket, they were going for $800 to $1,200, for instance. Well, now I had just recently picked up in the last auction, I just recently picked up 2 4-in-1 buckets for $200 a piece. Well, that's the problem with the Chinese themselves. They can't get out of their own way because the only way they can make money is selling product. So they don't care if they have to produce, let's just say, 100,000 more 4-in-1 buckets than anybody can even dream to use. They don't care. They just keep producing. And they're just going to cut their margins down. That's all there is to it. And if they're struggling, maybe they got to shut plants down. Maybe they don't. But right now, these rigs are just all over, and prices are, let's just say, I would think they're going to normalize to the price that we kind of picked this one up for. I still believe we got an amazing deal on this. Like I said, this was $2,500 out the door, tax, auction fee, etc. $2,500 out the door today. Granted, this is a bigger and better machine right now. If you're buying this straight from the factory, this is a $7,999 machine. I paid $7,200 almost 2 years ago for this out the door. So that pretty much tells you right there, as a consumer in the US, did the tariffs up the prices? Absolutely not. They did not. Not anything from China anyway. I'm not saying right now certain things aren't basically cheaper or certain things aren't more expensive, but we're still in the realm of, let's say, getting proper trade deals with other countries. But as far as the Chinese market and as far as buying from auctions, there's just so much product out there. Like we saw the other day, they just started getting those buggies. Let's say the niche on the mini skid isn't so great, or the niche on the mini excavators isn't so great right now. That's where they're having that pull behind buggy. And that's where they're pumping over those mini or those golf carts, as we saw, because there's those niches of the market to put a golf cart in everybody's backyard. Those haven't really been drowned out by their distribution of those products just yet. And we can get into a couple more things. Okay, and right now, also, in my personal opinion, why we're seeing the prices, not only attachments, these pieces of equipment, and other stuff from China, why those prices are, let's say, lower over here as well. Right now, most people in, let's just say, the US, especially up here in Minnesota, we're talking people of my class, I'll just call myself middle class, we're getting taxed to beat heck on property taxes, and just general living is just through the roof. The other part is housing market. The interest rates are so high, people can't afford to buy, build, or refinance their homes. So I think there's less people, let's just say, in our market to purchase these, because you're typically going to probably go and purchase these with cash, or you're going to go run to your bank and get an in-house loan for a piece of these, or for these pieces of equipment. So when basically the housing market as it is and has been insanely tight for, let's just say, 3 years with high interest rates, until rates come down and people are able to refi and consolidate some debt, whether it's credit card debt or getting off of high-priced home loans, that's going to slow down and not make it as easy for people to afford these rigs from auction. And when you have that, or let's just say tightening of the belt for middle-class people, these just aren't going to sell that well. Because my firm belief is on this particular rig, there was 2 of them, and there was only 2 people, because I watched this auction and I kind of bid slowly and steady on this rig. And like I said, there was 2 of these identical ones. There was only me and one other guy that was bidding on it. And initially I was thinking, oh, darn it, maybe I should just buy 2 of them because the price was just so good. But I'm like, what I didn't want to do is me and the other guy to continue to bid each other up. He wanted one, I wanted one. Yeah, I would have loved to have 2 for that price. But rather than battle to get 2 of them, I said, well, hey, let's just take and get them both at $2,100 and call it a day. So that activity in the auction, much like when I was talking about the 4-in-1 buckets, the activity of the volume of buyers out there is just not as great as it was like when I bought this one. I mean, this was the first CRT almost 23 that had come out. That's where you see mine's just got the older design with caps and all the other stuff. And going back to that, where the Chinese are really good, where they refine their machine. Yes, you can still buy the CRT because they still have, or the CRT 23, they still have the plan for that in their factory. But what they did with this machine is to make it as close to this machine as they could, except found every way around to basically cut costs and cheapen this one up and then get this out to the consumer. So that's where the Chinese, they're just so, you just got to give them props. They know how to put, product in everybody's home for the cheapest possible price. So it's kind of like, yep, they made X, Y, and Z amount of money right away. And it's kind of like this. They're not trying to live the American dream and go on vacations and, have the latest, greatest clothing. They're not looking to have merch made. What they care about over there, they care about the simple things in life: food, clothing, whether it's hand-me-downs, whatever, heat in their house. They're not super materialistic. They are not a throwaway society like we are. So that's where I just have so much appreciation talking with these Chinese individuals of just how innovative they are to honestly help us middle Americans have access to the big commercial people's equipment. Yes, albeit does it have its little bit of faults, these equipment here? Sure. But all American products have its faults, all that stuff. But I just love how they can be so innovative where they can get these products out to us. Honestly, my channel here does not exist without the Chinese. Isn't that crazy? If you see my videos and you check out all the projects I've done, none of that stuff is possible. None of that stuff happens without the Chinese making it possible. So, to get back into it, that whole tariff game is, it just doesn't affect their products, because it don't matter if they're selling it for $7,000 or $2,500. They have to move product. Otherwise, guess what? When they're producing this stuff, because they don't stop producing, they continue to produce, and then they got to pay storage fees on it. They just have to get the products out the door. That's why tariffs are just a non-issue for the most part with stuff over in China. I got one more thing to touch base on, and then I'll get back into getting onto these videos, but this is a good one. So I'm just going to leave it with this. So all in all, what does this mean for you? Tariffs, mini skids, auctions. What I would leave you with is do your research. And that's why when I bought this CRT 23, my main goal was for you as possible purchasers to have as much knowledge and as much information about these rigs so you could make the most educated guess on whether these pieces of equipment would work for you. And I didn't just mean the CRTs with mine, any mini skid out there, much like this one here. My objective, once again, is to do all the recon, all the pros and cons, try to catch all the stuff that needs to be done on these units to have you not run into the issues, or I'll call it preventative maintenance. So you as the end game consumer just don't have to deal with all the stuff that I used. So I'll kind of leave it here as just remember, purchase within your means. Find a budget, find a price, understand what the machine can and can't do for you, and purchase it that way. Because you don't want to be one of those people, $30,000, $40,000 rig like these, and then guess what? You're married to payments. So every month that your business starts up, guess what? You got that, let's just say, $750 mini skid payment. Well, guess what? That's $750 you got to pay to start the month. Before you even start your truck up, that maybe in today's world, you have $1,000 a month payment on your truck. So guess what? You got a mini skid, $750. You got your truck payment, $1,000. You got, remember, insurance, gas, operating expenses. No matter what vehicle you drive, no matter what skid you own, there's maintenance. Stuff's going to break down. You're going to clip a hydraulic hose or something. Just remember, spend within your means. Make money with what you can afford now and build up to buy bigger later. Or stay small. And what I say at this day in my life is simplify, downgrade, and maintain. Simplify and downgrade. For multiple years, I was working and going from this job to that job, getting jobs done, and I just got burnt out. I got hurt, and this is the road I choose to go now. Simplified, downgrade. And guess what? You'll find that you will love life, enjoy life so much more. You'll be able to have more flexibility, spend time with your wife, as I do with my J Bros, Jackson J. That's why we're called the J Bros, because I'm Jeremy, I got Jackson, I got Jason, and my brother's names are Jays as well. So kind of a insider joke. But with all that being said, spend within your means. I'm just trying to provide you, we'll call it advice, guidance, and counseling. It's up to you if this information helps or not. But please, please, I'm going to start up on this CRT 23. I'm going to give you the absolute most deep dive into this rig, comparing it to this one along the way. If you got any comments, holler at me. I'm always available. I get back to you guys as soon as I can, and I appreciate so much all your guys' comments. I just enjoy it thoroughly. I love this channel, and I love to know that I've helped people along the way, and that's what J Bros is here for. So please like, subscribe, comment down below. J Bros out.